Hey everybody, and welcome to this A+ 1201 performance-based question where I will be taking you through, as you can see here on the screen, a performance-based question today that will require you to correctly configure all necessary hardware. So today we're looking at making sure our hardware is correctly configured. Exactly what does that mean yet? We don't know. Let's go ahead and take our first look at what we may be required to do. So we come here and we start at this screen. The first problem we run into is something that you may very well run into on your actual exam day, and that is that there is no clear instructions at the moment. We have some sort of map of a network and there's no other written instructions other than what we just saw, which is that we now know that we need to configure hardware here. The first step is to just start clicking around and seeing what we can find. Can we click on this? Does that do anything? No. We have a bunch of computers here, a bunch of PCs. Do these do anything? No. There's nothing for me to click on. It doesn't really take me anywhere. What about the RAIDs over here? Okay, RAID 1 will take me somewhere, RAID 2 will take me somewhere, and RAID 3 will take me somewhere, meaning we'll probably have to configure those. The patch panel down here, I click on it, nothing happens. But this is highlighted with a circle. I click on that and that's going to take me somewhere. So it looks like I only need to configure RAID 1, RAID 2, RAID 3, and whatever this is down here. Let's go ahead and start at the bottom and then work our way up to the RAIDs. Okay, so the little note off to the side here reads, I need to wire this Ethernet cable to the T568B standard, but I have completely forgotten everything I have learned from my A+ exam. Can you please help me? All right, so we've got some available wires here, and then we have a cable, an Ethernet cable. We now know this is over to the right, and our job is going to be to order these wires in the correct order from left to right, making sure we successfully achieve the T568B standard. Here's how we are going to do this, everybody. I'm going to get you to pause your video right now. Pause your video, please, and have a go at just, I know you can't actually drag and drop because you're just watching me along in a video format, but have a guess at the order that these would go in. Write down on a piece of paper from left to right the colors that these would go in. You don't have to get out your coloring pencils or crayons. Just write it down. Think about it from left to right, which wire would go where. Pause the video now. Your answer is going to come in 3. I really want you to pause that video and have a go. The answer is coming in 2. I'm not joking. In about 1 second, the answer is coming. Here is your answer. I hope you had a guess. I hope you had a go. This is what the T568B standard Ethernet cable should look like. You've got your orange and white first, followed by your orange, followed by your white and green, followed by blue, and then white and blue, and then full green, white and brown, and then full brown. That is your T568B standard Ethernet cable. Now, for your exam, you do need to know about the 2 standards. I'll quickly take this opportunity now to go over those with you. T568B is what we just went over there, and T568A is actually quite similar. You'll have a look, right? Notice 4 of the cables are actually in the same place. Your blue and white are in the same place. You see that? Your brown and white and brown are in the same place. It is only the green and white, orange and white that are swapped around. So you only need to really remember the location of those 4 cables, but you do need to make sure you put some effort into understanding the difference between those 2. So hopefully you have your head wrapped around that before you go ahead and take that exam. Let's go back to the main screen. We're going to consider that one done and complete now. And let's have a look at our first RAID array that we are going to need to set up. We have a description over here to the left, and then over here to the right, we have a button that will take us to the screen in which we have to actually decide on a few things. We're going to have to decide on the RAID type. What type of RAID is it? Is it RAID 1, 0, 5, 10, or 6 based on the description? What should we put in each drive slot in each array in relation to how big the storage is, 1 terabyte, 4 terabytes, 6 terabytes, or 8 terabytes, and also how fast is that storage? Is it 15,000 RPM, 10,000 RPM, 7,200, or 5,400 RPM, which are those 4 common speeds that you do need to know for your exam as well. And also, we will need to be able to say how many parity bits are in each drive. We'll have to drag and drop the number of parity bits in each array depending on the description or requirements that we're given. So let's head back and let's read the description and see what we can come up with. As we read through, guys, I am actually going to start writing on my little notepad over here, which is going to represent the whiteboard and texter marker you will be given on your test day for you to essentially write down any notes that you want during your test. And you can rub it out and write any notes all over again. So I'm going to be using this to take notes. And what that's essentially going to do is when we go into this screen here, I'm going to be able to use the information that I've taken in notes so that I don't have to continuously go back to the requirements and check. I'm going to take notes of the key requirements before I go in, so that way I can just focus on the task at hand and I don't have to keep switching from screen to screen to make sure I am getting it right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start reading through the requirements for RAID 1. It reads, hey guys, this video is sponsored by the A+ Core 1 and Core 2 Ultimate Learning Guide. This learning guide has helped many people pass their Core 1 and Core 2 exams, meaning that they can move on to their Network Plus and Security Plus sooner rather than later. In the learning guide, here's what you will get. Detailed notes, revision notes, active recall questions, and multiple choice questions for every single exam objective. 3 full-length practice exams with performance-based questions, a document with performance-based questions, a video showing you exactly how to study using multiple choice questions so you will be moving ahead of 99% of other people at a much faster rate because you are studying more effectively. A video giving you test-taking tips in case you get stuck on a question in the exam, a video showing you how to use free AI tools to 10 times your study sessions. And best of all, I want this to be accessible to everyone regardless of your economic position, so I've made it extremely affordable. So if this sounds good to you, you can head over to journeytocyber.com and grab your A+ Core 1 or Core 2 learning guide today. This RAID configuration requires the most amount of fault tolerance we can get using parity bits. Definitely want more than 1 parity per array. Okay, so we already know that they want more than 1 parity bit per array. They've made that clear. They go on to say, we have a relatively large budget, but it isn't unlimited. So we want to completely prioritize speed and efficiency over storage space, selecting the fastest drives available. They want the fastest drives available and they don't want to focus on storage space. They want to focus on the speed and efficiency. They go on to say that their primary focus is on providing efficiency and a level of redundancy. So we're happy to go with a very low amount of storage to accommodate this. We've already got that down. Okay, so we have all the information we really need to answer that question, assuming we have a basic fundamental understanding of what different RAID arrays are. And now is where I'm going to test you to see if based on this information, you are able to actually answer this question. So we'll go through it step by step, guys. Here's what I want you to do. Pause the video right now and have a go at thinking about, based on these requirements, what RAID type are we talking about? Is it 1, 0, 5, 10, or 6? Based on these requirements, how many parity bits are going to be in each RAID array? Is it going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4? And what size storage do we want? 4 terabytes, 1 terabyte, 6 terabytes, or 8 terabytes? And how fast do you want those drives to be? 15,000, 10,000, 7,200, or 5,400. All right. Have a go at that. Jot down those details now. Pause the video because your answer is going to be coming in 3. Yes, please pause the video and have a go because your answer is coming in 2. That's right. We're almost there. I hope you've paused the video and had an attempt at the question in 1. Your answer is... the RAID type is RAID 6, okay? How do we know that? We know that because they said they want more than 1 parity bit per array. Now, there are only 2 types of RAID arrays that you need to know about for your exam and that will be in your exam that use parity bits, okay? RAID 6 is the only one of those that uses more than 1 parity bit. I don't want to say any more because I don't want to give away any more. Next is, let's go with how many parity bits in this array. So I'm going to give you a hint. It's the same parity bits across all of the arrays. How many parity bits per array? It's going to be 2 in each array. Now, a RAID 6 array has a minimum of 4 drives that they need to be using. So we're going to do the parity bits in all 4 of these drives because remember, some RAID arrays only use 2 drive arrays, right? So you would actually leave 2 empty and fill out only these 2 if that is what the requirement was talking about, a RAID type that only used 2 and they wanted to use the minimum amount of drives, for example, of drive arrays. Sorry. But in this case, we know that RAID type is 6 and that RAID 6 has 2 parity bits in every single RAID array, okay? Now, the next final component of this is we need to drag and drop the correct drives themselves into the slots based on using the fastest drives available and that they don't need storage space. So the answer for that was all of these slots have 1 terabyte because they don't need storage space. That is the least amount of storage space. And they have the maximum speed because they wanted the fastest drives, or drives, as I said here, available. 15,000 RPM is the fastest speed that you can get out of these potential options. So that is RAID 1. Hopefully you were able to use your fundamental understanding of RAID array types in order to answer that. Let's go ahead and go back to the main network map and go into RAID 2 and see what they want from us. They say, you know what, actually first I'm gonna just delete these notes because I don't need them anymore, and I'll go RAID 2 and we'll get ready to take more notes. All right, they say, hello, we have an unlimited budget and would like to have the best redundancy, speed, and storage space available. We want to take advantage of both striping and mirroring technologies. Okay, so they have an unlimited budget, they want the fastest speed, they want the most storage space they can get, and they want to use striping and mirroring technology. Based off of only this information, we have everything we need in order to correctly answer this question and create our RAID array. So let's go ahead and start with the RAID type. The RAID type, guys, what RAID is this? We're going to need to select, is it 1, 0, 5, 10, or 6? Based on this information, you should be able to figure that out. We need to know how many parity bits are in the array, and just like last time, we also need to drag and drop the correct drives depending on their storage space and speed into these slots. I want you to go ahead and have a guess at this now. The answer, again, I'm going to run through it with you, all of the answers in 3 seconds. So please pause the video and really have a go based on that information that we've taken notes of. And again, we took notes so that we don't have to keep switching back and forth. So we took those notes there for that reason. Now, your answer is coming in 3 seconds. Please pause the video and really have a go. It works a lot better if you have an attempt yourself. 2 seconds. Your answer is coming. Please do have an attempt at the question. I hope you paused the video and really tried. 1 second. Here we go. Your answer is coming right now. The RAID type is 10. Guys, this is a RAID 10 configuration. RAID 10 is the only configuration out of all of the RAID array types that use both striping and mirroring. Okay, it's the only one that uses both. So immediately, if you see that it's a combination of the two, it has to be RAID 10. There is no other option. Next thing, how many parity bits are in each array? So first of all, RAID 10. How many arrays are we using? Are we using only 1, 2, 3, or 4? We are going to be using all 4 of the RAID arrays here, of the RAIDs, because a RAID 10 requires a minimum of 4 drives in order to function. So the next step is how many parity bits in each? It is going to be 0 parity bits, guys. RAID 10 does not use parity. Only RAID 5 and RAID 6 use parity bits. So RAID 10 does not use any parity bits whatsoever. The final step, guys, and this is probably the easiest out of all of that. If you got the rest, you should be able to get this one because it's really just the fastest speed and the most storage space. We already know we're using all 4 drives. So that is, of course, going to be the biggest storage space option out of all of these is 8 terabytes, and the fastest speed is 15,000 RPM. So that should have been the easiest part of that to get. So you can see, guys, if you have a basic fundamental understanding of RAID, you should be able to do these questions. It looks really complicated. There's a lot to do, but if you can just break it down step by step, you should be all right. Now let's go back to that network map, excuse me, and do the final one, RAID 3. The requirements at RAID 3 read, we at Journey to Cyber are looking for a RAID solution for our extremely high quality learning resources to help people pass the A+ exam. We have a relatively conservative budget and are predominantly looking to take advantage of mirroring technology for redundancy with no need for striping. They only want mirroring technology, no striping. They go on to say that we want to use the minimum amount of drive arrays necessary for this configuration and are willing to completely sacrifice speed in favor of the most storage you are capable of offering. They want to completely sacrifice all speed for the most storage space possible. So based on this information, we have enough, again, to answer this question for the final RAID array. Let's go ahead and fill this out. I want you to, as usual, pause the video and please have a guess at the RAID type, at how many parity bits are in this array, if there are any. How many drives are we using again? So if you're not using a certain amount of drives, just leave it empty in this case. And then we are going to be, of course, selecting the appropriate drives down here. Your answer is going to be coming in 3 seconds. So please go ahead and, as usual, pause the video and actually have a go at thinking about writing in some answers for these questions, even if it's just on a piece of paper or in a Google Doc. 2 seconds, your answer's coming. I really hope, as usual, that you have in fact paused the video and had a go at answering these questions. 1 second, your answer is coming. I'm going to assume that you've gone ahead and made an attempt now. Please do not continue watching if you have not made an attempt. Here is your answer. Let's start with the RAID type. Okay, the only type of RAID that uses mirroring technology and no striping is RAID 1. RAID 1 uses mirroring, while RAID 0 uses striping. Now, I'm not going to go over exactly what those two mean right now in this video. It is in my course if you want to go and look at that section, but just know that if they say mirroring, RAID 1 uses mirroring, RAID 0 uses striping. That's the dead giveaway there for that answer to that question. Now that we know it is RAID 1, we need to stop and think about how many drives are they using, because they want the minimum amount of drives. I actually should have written that down as a note over here, minimum amount of drives for that configuration. So what is the minimum amount you need for a RAID 1 configuration? That's right, it is going to be not 4 drives, not 3 drives, but 2 drives. So that means we're going to actually leave these 2 empty over here, okay? Because they want a minimum amount of drives. You don't want 4 drives, they only want 2, because that's a minimum amount you need for a RAID 1 configuration. Now, that brings us to how many parity bits in a RAID 1 configuration in each of the drive arrays. It's going to be 0. Yeah, that's right, it's 0. I know you've already paused and had to go, so I'm just going to stick that in there. There's 0 parity bits. The only RAID types that have any parity is RAID 5 and RAID 6. Okay, if it says no parity, it is not going to be one of those 2. And the final part of this question is, again, the easiest, the most storage space possible with the a complete sacrifice of all speed. So that is of course going to be the 8 terabytes, which is the maximum storage space for each individual drive, and then the 5,400 RPM, revolutions per minute, because that is the slowest speed that you can get, and that is going to be the answer for RAID 3. So hopefully you had something that looks like that. If you did the right 2 and left the left 2 empty, that would also be considered correct. It's just so long as you only use 2 drives, essentially. So guys, look, within this performance-based question, we have configured 3 different RAID arrays, and we have also configured an Ethernet cable with the T568B standard. And we've come to understand how to take notes efficiently as well, so that when you get to your test day, you're not stuck going back and forth between different screens because you've forgotten important information. And we've understood that you may not actually have the instructions clearly given to you. You might have to click around and have a look at what it is you actually need to do. So let me know if you found this useful. If you did want to get your hands on the learning guide, which is where this information is all from, you can of course go to journeytocyber.com. The notes helped this person pass their test, and this person passed their core 1 because of the study guide. What is actually in the study guide? Why are people saying that it's helped them pass, move on to the network plus, etc.? Well, it's simply because I organize everything by exam objective, and for every exam objective, you get detailed notes outlining everything you need to know in simple terms. No unnecessary technical jargon. You get active recall questions, which is just like a way to make sure you understand what you're meant to be understanding. And then of course you get what everyone loves, the multiple choice questions that are similar to what you would actually receive on your examination. And of course you get 3 practice exams. And all of this is coming from someone who works as an educator and is someone who actually creates exams for people in real life. So I know kind of the process to go through to create exams, and I'm going through the same process I do to create exams for my students for this particular test here. And you even get some extra things in there, such as me telling you how to study, giving you some specific tips and tricks on how to actually use multiple choice questions to study to get you ahead of 99% of other people studying for this exam, to make sure you're ready for your first run through. So if that sounds good, head over to journeytocyber.com, link in the description or the pinned comment down below. And otherwise guys, hey, I'll see you in the next one. Let me know if you've enjoyed this video. I really enjoy making these for you guys. I hope I'm making your lives easier, and make sure you let me know when you do pass that exam. Okay, bye guys.